Hey everybody, welcome to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I'm Abstract Gaming, and as you can see, my headset, well, it was never broken. I can now talk. For some reason, I don't know. Well, I didn't do it. I don't know what happened. One of the settings got changed in my Bandicam, and I couldn't. It was something weird with the sound settings. I don't know what it was, but I deactivated it, so it's fine now. So the Las Vegas race I uploaded did not have commentary, as any of you who have watched it by now know, which is kind of sad. And I'm going to do another one, and hopefully it will be as good as the other one was. Maybe a little more of an exciting finish. Not that the race was bad because of the finish. So to start things off, just like every other race, going to do the starting lineup. And no particular special this row, just going through the names. Johnny Sauter, Michael Annette, David Reagan, Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney, J.J. Yaley, David Gilliland, Eric Almirola, Cole Witt, Sam Hornish Jr., Trevor Bain, Landon Castle, Michael McDowell, Danica Patrick, Ty Dillon, Jeb Burton, Justin Allgaier, Bobby Labonte, Casey Mears, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Kyle Larson, Adrian Almendinger, Austin Dillon, Greg Biffle, Paul Menard, Joey Logano, Brian Vickers, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Ryan Newman, Matt Kenseth, Kevin Harvick, Kurt Busch, Clint Boyer, Martin Truex Jr., Brad Keselowski, Carl Edwards, Tony Stewart, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, Casey Kane, and on the front row is Joe Gibbs Racing sweeping it, Kyle Busch with Denny Hamlin on the pole. Cut the recording real quick and come back for the green flag of this race, 67 laps. Back getting ready for the green. The cars now roll out of turn 4 for the last time before we go green. The pace car pulls off. Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Joe Gibbs Racing front row, Hendrick Motorsports second row. Denny Hamlin will lead us to the green flag at Las Vegas for 67 laps. Gets a really good push from Casey Kane. The entire inside line goes really well, actually. Kyle Busch looks to get a little loose up there. He's going to hold some guys back as Casey Kane very early going for the lead on Denny Hamlin. He's inside of him. He might get it here. Don't know if the high side's going to be the preferred line this early in. As expected, Jimmy Johnson and Casey Kane forcing their ways up to the front, and Casey Kane will lead lap 1. Kyle Busch, the huge loser. Denny Hamlin right behind him, losing a lot of spots losing behind him in the list of guys who lost spots. These top 4 guys did not start on either of the front 2 rows. Things have totally changed here at the front. Casey Kane leading. Johnson and Edwards are side by side for second. Still battling for the spot as Edwards takes a look inside Kane. Kane, very close there, blocking the 19, an aggressive move to try and hold the lead. 19 has to check up. They're all very tight for the lead right now. These 3 cars are looking good early on. Kyle Busch and Hamlin continue to drop as Edwards peeks inside and looks for the lead. He has a good line on Kane. Kane might be able to use the outside to fight back. It's too early for it to work. New leader, Carl Edwards. I don't think Edwards is quite done yet, because now the 48 looks to try and make a pass. Here comes Stewart, and Truex Jr. going under Stewart. Stewart looks to try and pass Kane, but the 78 was there. As the 48 now goes under the 19. He's going to have to really drive it in here, but the 19 pulls down in front of him, which it looks like he will. He'll retain the lead for another lap. Kane hasn't quite fallen back. He is still there. So the cars all roll across the front start-finish line. Still 3 wide as Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin scramble for position. We have a caution. Looks like Paul Menard and Bobby Labonte were the cars involved. As everybody gets lined up for the yellow here. Look at where our pole sitter and his mate started, or ended up, excuse me. Denny Hamlin ended up all the way back in 11th. Kyle Busch fell back to 15th. They had an awful start to the race. So in a moment, we're going to come back with a replay of what happened. Back here with the replay, Paul Menard and Bobby Labonte were the 2 cars that wrecked out. But all these guys you see in front of Menard got a piece of it too. So if you look at the mouse, you see there's Labonte. When he enters the corner, he's going to enter very wide, a little too wide. Larson sees a hole, so he's going to try and poke his nose in there. Labonte doesn't know he's there. It comes down, and Bernard just happens to be there. Pretty hard lick for him. Not sure about the damage to the 9 of Hornets Jr., but I think it'll be pretty significant for him. Larson was just on the door. That'll be terrible. This is pretty big for the Fender. 26 got a chunk of it too, but really the guys that are going to have a hard time recovering will be the 32 and the 27. If I can get to them, that would be nice. I'm not sure how hard of a hit Labonte took. Ooh, ooh. He got the wall pretty hard there. Unfortunate for them. A couple of the other drivers involved might be able to recover and maybe have a shot at a good finish, but I don't know about the win. These two guys, as for them, they're done. They won't win. It's strategy or some miracle. Really unfortunate for it to end this early, but it happens. It is racing. Speaking of racing, we're going to give you some more of it right after we return live for the restart. Back here with one to the green, Jimmie Johnson ended up the beneficiary of those last pit stops. 32 is able to stay on track. As for Paul Menard, he will have to exit the race. Very unfortunate ending for him. Casey Kane got shuffled way back to 21st. Denny Hamlin just lost 4 ground. Might have helped out Kyle Busch, who gained a few. A couple of bad stops really set some guys back. Even Carl Edwards, who was up there. Truex Jr. had a good car going, so did the 14. It'll be really interesting to see how the 48 can hold these guys off. 48 is one of the 3 cars that was battling for the lead before the caution, so it'll be interesting to see how these other guys can try and take the lead. If they take the lead, of course. From what we've seen the first few laps, it is not going to be easy. The lead changed hands quite a few times in a matter of a few laps. It's not going to be clear for a while who will be the leader. Well, whoops, there's the pace car, guys. About to find out. Jimmie Johnson will lead us back to green here at Las Vegas. Lap 9 of 67. Truex Jr. spins the tires. That's great for Johnson. He'll be able to pull away a little bit. He blocked aggressively. Tony Stewart's going to pull to the inside. He's not having any of it. Back to third goes Truex, and Stewart will take second. It's really going to hurt Truex. And the rest of the field, really. Because he did get a bad start, but he got blocked. He wasn't going to lose. Well, he was determined to not lose any ground, and he ended up losing ground. Johnson was able to pull away because of that, but none of the other drivers able to contend. Truex is now really out of his momentum. He's dropping really fast. Stewart and Logano are now trying to chase down the 48. Edwards in 4th. Earnhardt Jr. is in 5th. A little high there in turns 3 and 4 for the 48. You're 3 wide in the back. Very close racing. See how the intervals changed here. Tony Stewart closed the gap to 10th and a half. He is a little bit quicker than Johnson right now. He's got a little bit of a lower line. He can hold that bottom just a little bit better. I think he'll be able to suck up to him. And what with Stewart here? Looks as if he gained a little bit. He is all over him. He did. He's now only a 10th back. I think he's going to make the move right here. He's going to look under. He can get to the gas earlier and get the 48 to bobble loose. He looks low, but he doesn't quite get there. He's close enough now. He's within passing range. If he can dive under in time. Might have given him a shot there. Whatever he did, knocked the 48 out of his groove. And we have a pass for the lead. Oh, barely at the line. I think Johnson lit that lap by less than 100, but Stewart is going to end up with the lead. And these two have set the pace for the field. While battling, they have already put a second on Earnhardt Jr. Wow, Earnhardt Jr. Where did Edwards go? Edwards fell back. Where did Truex Jr. go? Truex Jr. after that bad start fell all the way back to 16th. Show you what a good start can do. Jr. aggressively blocking Kenseth. Ooh, a little loose there. Johnson isn't letting Stewart get away quite yet. It won't be that easy. Both of these cars looking awfully fast today. He's going to get him a little loose here. He's going to peek under. He has a nose under him. I don't think he'll lead this lap. But he has a really good position to pass the 14. Now on lap 15 of 67. It's under him. Both of them working the throttle. Stewart's going to fight back on the outside. I think he's actually going to go. Stewart continues to lead side by side for the lead, and as this is happening, Denny Hamlin is charging to the front. And Tony Stewart somehow is making the outside line work for him as they are still side by side. Johnson is not clear yet. He goes up to block. The 14 crosses over. Almost contact. Very close racing, and this has allowed Denny Hamlin to close the gap. He now joins the mix. He's going to bring Matt Kenseth and Earnhardt Jr. in tow right behind him. The outside line seems to work really well in 1 and 2, and it hasn't worked for anyone except for Stewart. He was able to make the outside line work in 3 and 4 and almost past the 48. Here comes Hamlin. Hamlin's looking to get the 14. They're side by side now. Hamlin will take that position from Tony Stewart. They're still side by side. Stewart has worked pretty well on the high side. While he hasn't been able to complete any passes, there he got a little bit too wide. He's going to fall into the clutches of Kenseth as Hamlin looks low. Pass for the lead. Who's going to lead this lap? Johnson, I think, led the lap. Johnson barely led the lap, but Hamlin has the preferred line. Yeah, the outside line did not quite work well. New leader is Hamlin. Excuse me if I said Kenseth. Stewart is now barely hanging on to third. Looks like Kenseth will take that position. It looks to me like Stewart and Johnson used up all they had battling for the lead, and now Kenseth and Hamlin, who had preserved their tires a little bit better than they have, are taking advantage of it. As Kenseth is now on the bumper of the 48 trying to pass. Yeah, really, it looks like a big part of this is tire wear. 14 and 48 used their stuff up just a little too much in the run. Ooh, he could tap him. He is right on his bumper. He'll get him down going into this corner. The 48 doesn't block. I think Kenseth will take second. Hamlin hasn't exactly pulled away. He's currently faster than Johnson. I expect Kenseth to try and go for a lead, and we'll have another battle as soon as he can get around the 48. Cars have now spread out. Battles going on all over the track. 48 gets a little wide. Here comes Kenseth. Just to make the move here. This will slow them both down, allowing Hamlin to pull out a little bit, but I think it's done. Kane is fighting his way up through the field, as you can see there. He's going around Dale Earnhardt Jr. Kyle Busch is trying to recover from that rocky restart. He's moved from 12th to 7th. So now Stewart and Johnson have both been booted back to 3rd and 4th. I think we have a caution. This could be the race back. Ty Dillon appears to have gone around. See in a moment, not quite sure. No caution. Not sure what happened to the 33, but in all that, Hamlin has kept the lead. Kenseth, not quite sure if Kenseth is game. We're going to look this time at the interval between the two of them. Things have really calmed down all over the track now. Johnson and Stewart still very close to each other for third. They haven't quite faded as much as I thought they would. Kane has found his way into the top 5 as well. Kenseth closed the gap by a tenth that time around. He's coming. He really wants that lead. Go on board with Kenseth here. See, right there in the center, he gains a lot. You might not have been able to see it there, but he gained a lot in the center of 3 and 4 right there. Big gains. Previously, he gains almost another tenth on Hamlin here. Yeah, you see, looks like he just goes through the center. I don't know, Hamlin was a little better that time. They were being very aggressive with the braking right now. By that I mean braking very minimally. See, right here in 3 and 4 is where he really gets handled. He can get down to that bottom so much better as they're going to come onto pit road. Excuse me. So that battle was about to get really interesting as Kenseth had a nice run going. Then we go back on track. AJ Allmendinger has assumed the lead. Behind him is Kevin Harvick, Biffle, Logano, Kurt Busch. These guys looking to stretch it out just a little bit. Now AJ is going to pull onto pit road. He's going to bring Harvick with him. And the rest of anyone who hasn't pit. Stewart a little bit further back. Looks like he's going to stay out for another lap. Unless he's already pit. I think he's already pit. Excuse me. I'm going to go find Denny Hamlin. The race for the lead has changed. Now it is Tony Stewart's going to be the big beneficiary, pitting early. He's going to get quite the gap on them, but they should close up very soon with the fresher tires. Kenseth benefited also. Hamlin ended up third after that exchange. A few cars still have not gone on to pit road. See as Allmendinger comes out there. The race for the lead really starts at around right here in 8th. Because the top 7 have yet to pit, or the scoring has not updated yet. We saw the 47 exiting pit road. This is the battle for 2nd right now. Hamlin looks to be a little better on the short run than Kenseth. Kenseth blocks down low. So now things are back up to speed. They are both 1 second behind Stewart. He gets under Kenseth, and around he goes again. Gonna see this time. Now we can see Stewart in the picture. They are gaining on him. They gained quite a bit on him that lap, despite their racing. It was about a second back, the average between them. This time around, they gained Hamlin gained, 2 tenths on Stewart. Continues to make that gap shrink. We go back through the field. Johnson and Keselowski both separated. The 47 really won big from that pit strategy. Edwards is faded. Michael Annett with a strong run in 16th for that small team. Previously, the gap between the 11 and 14 was 8 tenths. After it updates, it looks like Hamlin has cut the gap down by 4 tenths. At this rate, he will be on the bumper of the 14, and possibly the next time around. So to see how much he gains here. This is where the magic happens. Look how much harder he can drive it down in there. You can see it visibly. He closes big time, and he gets even more of a run down the straight, and he is closing up to the bumper of the 14. As the lead went from, he gained a full 3 tenths there. He is on much better tires than the 14 right now. I think he'll even be able to drive up under him right here. Got a better run on the inside. Let's see if Tony can try and defend on the high side, which he has done earlier. Looks like he will try, but tires are just working a lot better for Hamlin right now. Another guy who has began to come back is Johnson. He closed 5 tenths the past 2 laps, only half a tenth there, but he's on his way. That was closing to Stewart. He gained half a tenth on Hamlin there. and that was while Hamlin was battling, so we won't know yet until next lap if the 48 truly is catching up. That bumps back Stewart to second. It looks like the tires have equalized a little bit. You see the 14 can't quite hold that bottom line as well as the Gibbs cars. The Gibbs cars have fresher tires. And go ahead and throw Johnson in there with the 11 and 20 because he pit on the same lap. Even though Hamlin is faster than the 48 and the 2 and the 40. Hamlin, at the moment, has the car to beat. It looks like Kenseth might try and contend with him if he can get around Stewart. Go up through the field and make sure there's no drama. Things have really started to spread out here. Might be hitting some lap traffic soon. Even. Kenseth still has not been able to get around Tony Stewart, and that is holding him up big time. See, Kenseth is able to get to the bottom, and he's going to do exactly what Hamlin did. He's able to get the run off the bottom with those fresher tires. Stewart, never mind. Stewart got a little more of a run, but Kenseth's going to have the preferred lane. He checks up a little bit. He thinks better of it, but I still think he can peek his nose, which he will. A little bobble by the 14, and it'll be close coming to the line. Stewart barely hangs on to second there. But I think he's done now. Kenseth is going to take the second position from Tony Stewart. Not quite yet. 14 is still fighting back. Not going to let it go very easily. Eventually he'll have to give in, but he has been making the high side work okay for him. Look at the gap. 48's gaining now. He gained, I didn't say anything about it because there was a battle for second, but he gained 8 100ths last time and another 800ths this time. Almost a 10th a lap on the 11. Keselowski, on the other hand, is the next fastest car, and he has been slowly losing ground. These four guys, Johnson, Stewart, Kenseth, and Hamlin, look to be the class of the field for the time being. Now that Kenseth is made of around Stewart, he gained half a tenth. Johnson gained big that time, 2/10 on the leader. Soon there will be a battle for third, and I think we'll have a battle for the lead right around then. Because Kenseth is a little bit better than Hamlin right now. Tires probably are playing a big role in who's faster than who right now. I'm really impressed that Stewart has been able to stick it out this long with the older tires he has. And the gap from second to first grew a little bit. As a matter of fact, I think everything stayed mostly the same there. Keselowski had a really bad lap there. He lost a lot of ground. These four cars are pretty stellar. Really, it's all about who makes a mistake and who makes a really good corner. That'll be the difference. 14 looked a little slow, and the 48 looked a little quick there. We'll see. The gap between first and second grew a little bit. Johnson has only been able to gain a few hundredths each lap on Hamlin. So things have stabilized up at the front. A little racing in the back. Lap traffic is sure to happen soon. We've got a few battles going on in the top 10. Johnson is now closed up to the back of the 14. It looks like he will go around him without any issue. Or not. 14 will fight back. Kenseth there gained half a tenth on the leader, Denny Hamlin. As now Tony Stewart will yield third place to Jimmy Johnson. As Johnson slides up in front of him, the 14 had a little bit of a run. And this is pretty big right here. Lap car going to be an issue. That will slow them down big time. That's possibly going to give the spot back to Tony Stewart. And it's not like Ty did anything wrong. Ty didn't do anything wrong. But he really did slow down the 14 and the 48 big time. They have leaders also, by the way, have caught the tail end of the field. Lap traffic will now play a role. I think that really messed up the momentum. Currently, Ty Dillon's a little faster than our leaders, who have yet to hit pit road. Ty Dillon has already made his pit stop. He might unlap himself here. Gonna go around the 20 without an issue at all. very easily go around the 20. Yeah, the 14-48 lost 3/10 there. It really hurt them. This goes to show what fresh tires can do for you. Through the center of the corner, Dylan gets down to 160, Kenseth a good 6 miles per hour slower. Fresh tires can do you wonders. He's dead last now, but he's faster than the leaders with those tires. Kenseth lost 2/10. Johnson and Stewart losing another 2/10 on Hamlin. 32 was up in the wall, it looks like there. Things are getting a little dicey now. Do we have a spinner? I saw tire tracks. I'm not sure if that was from the last yellow or... Ooh! 38 cuts down low. It looks like he's coming on the pit road with Hamlin. There go the leaders. 48 will stay out. So will the 47. Meanwhile, your leaders, Denny Hamlin, Matt Kenseth, are on pit road, along with Tony Stewart. Go watch the 48 now, as he is the leader, and we are waiting on his pit stop. Losing a lot of time staying out. And he pulls on now. Landon Castle in tow. AJ Allmendinger is also coming on the pit road. Kevin Harvick will join them. Joey Logano is going to stay off the pit road. Logano will stay on track, and he will now go to the top of the leaderboard. Looks like Logano is now the only driver. Nope, Truex is also yet to pit. Truex Jr. and Logano look like the only two cars that have not pit. And they are losing a lot of time, but they look for some long-term strategy. So Logano will now go down pit road. Let's see where the 48 comes out in relation to 11. Definitely lost a lot of ground. 11 really, that pit crew on the 11 car really put him out front. Kenseth lost quite a bit of ground on that exchange as well. Boyer looks to be the beneficiary if he's on the lead lap. So now when everything sorts out, the 11 will be in the lead. Well, he hasn't passed the 22 or the 78 yet, but now the 11's in the lead. Until he passes them. I think he already did. I can't tell. I haven't looked. Probably just did, and I just wasn't paying attention. Denny Hamlin looks to be the best right now. He was fast earlier, but now that car is flying. This will put him back up front. Now things are all sorted out. Johnson 2.5 seconds. Kenseth just over 3. Stewart roughly 5 seconds. Looks like Keselowski's going to go around him. Quite a few cars are still on the lead lap, soon to be lapped. The 48 has better tires than the 11 and the 20. I don't know if that'll play a factor. We're going to find out. See if that gap closes at all. Just a little bit, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Kenseth gained a little bit. Things are heating up here for 4th position. Clint Boyer being the barrier between Keselowski and Stewart. Now as they cross the line, see how the intervals change between our top 3 once again. This time Johnson gained 3/100ths and Kenseth gained a 10th. Kenseth is the fastest car on the track right now. Johnson's gaining on Hamlin a little bit, but Kenseth is gaining on Johnson, so Kenseth is gaining a lot of time on Hamlin. At this rate, he'll be at Hamlin's bump. At this rate, Kenseth will catch him. He does not have enough time. Oh, we got a spinner. I see smoke. I also see the yellow flag. This changes everything. Can't tell who spun out. But that's why we've got a wonderful thing called replays, which we're about to show you, which was brought out only our second caution of the day, ending a very long green flag run. Back with the replay, you need to watch the 43 and the 33. I wouldn't really blame this on anyone, more of a racing incident. Ty gets a really bad entry. Eric Almirola gets a nice run through the center, and their paths just collide. And this could have been really bad. Eric starts to check up early and gets off of him. Now this is what could have been bad. Watch Jeff Gordon and Brian Blaney, I think, barely get by the 33. That could have been an ugly crash. Very nasty crash, but it wasn't. Disaster averted. And now the real drama is going to be what happens on the restart, which is up next. Talk about drama. Now, I'm not sure why they are lined up like this or how it happened, but your entire front 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 rows are all lap cars. The 30, excuse me, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, almost 5 rows. Lennon Castle will be the last lap car. He is in the, oh no, that's 11 laps cars. Hamlin, Johnson are on the lead lap. They are first and second. The entire outside line is the only line that consists of lap cars. Kenseth got the bitter end of strategy and ended up having to lose ground, but this is not the race for the lead right now. So, we're going to go find the 48 and the 11 for this restart because that will be the race for the lead. We are green once again at Las Vegas. This is going to be fun watching them battle. 48 got a good start. Didn't quite carry over. And here it starts to get messy. Lap cars, I'm not saying they're bad, but usually they don't have the setup quite right. And they don't get a lot of racing with other cars under their belts. And this is what creates the mess at the front. That is 4 wide as, oh, the 37 gets spun. Does he save it? He could come back in front of the pack. This could be disastrous. He needs to slow down and keep it up there. Trouble! He doesn't! Up and over is the 38. Around goes another car. Not sure who that was. But that is huge. In that mess, the 11 had to check up big time, which will hand the lead over to Jimmy Johnson. The caution will wave on lap 54 of 67. A horrendous wreck here to bring out the third yellow of the day. In a second, we're going to return with what happened. Back with the replay. This all starts right around here. I'm going to go a little bit of slow motion here. The 35 does not have a good corner. The 23 gets under him. He gets into him there. And there's just such a big momentum there. There's not much you can do. He gets turned down to the infield, but very interestingly, he keeps the throttle on it, which really surprises me. You'll be able to see everything that happens right here. He comes up right in front of the 7. He goes over. Now, watch over here with the 23. He goes down on the apron, and it looks like, yeah, it's a combination of him getting loose and getting into the 32. But he ends up going around like that. And look how close he gets to Denny Hamlin. Oh my goodness. Could have been awful, and it only gets worse. As you guys thought Truex Jr. had bad luck, watch this. Huge hit. The 23 goes way up and over. His will probably be the most scary on board at the wreck. Looks bad when you see a car coming up on the track at full speed. You see he gets loose there, and he just can't keep it down there. That's a pretty hard hit there, but you don't see it coming in right there. Wild ride for the 23. Very scary wreck. Fortunately, all drivers made it out okay. There were not any other major incidents coming to the yellow flag. So this is definitely going to stir things up for the restart. Speaking of restarts, we're about to have one. We'll come back when that happens. Back live here with 1 to go until it's green. That caution really shook things up at the front, and not in a good way for anybody who wanted to win the race, but Jimmy Johnson. See, back here are all the lead lap cars. Hamlin lost a lot of ground. Not a ton, but, you know, he's back in 5th now. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You see Edwards, Vickers, but now McDowell, who's 36th, is here. 35 is here. Kenseth is 34th. AJ Allmendinger is the next car on the lead lap. He's second. Between him and the 48, Danica Patrick, David Gilliland, Casey Mears, and Jeb Burton. So Johnson has a really nice cushion between himself and the 47. Now, let me remind you, you probably don't know it because you don't see the ticker right now, but we're inside of 10 laps to go. We'll have 8 to go coming to the line. So believe me, anybody who's on the lead lap and stuck behind all these lap cars are going to be driving like mad going after the 48. 48's got a fast car, but not the best. We'll see if Hamlin or Allmendinger can do. Got to find out as we go green. Again at Las Vegas. Allmendinger wasting no time, ducking down to the inside. Getting 2 for 1. He knows he's got a shot. 3 wide all throughout the pack. Now he goes under the 13. Johnson trying to take advantage of him having to work to get around the lap cars. As AJ Allmendinger has passed every car he needs to get to Johnson in a mere lap. That has got to be scary for the 48 crew. AJ's car is dialed in. From the looks of it, those are the only 2 drivers we have to worry about. The next... Oh, look at this gaggle of cars. The next cars we have to worry about are Carl Edwards and Hamlin, and they have quite a bit to chew through. For now, it is AJ Allmendinger and Jimmy Johnson. Lots of cars taken out in that accident. Only 29 remain on the lead lap. The gap that time went from half a second to 6.5 tenths. That was just a lap. He was still battling then, so we'll see what the gap really looks like. We're now on lap 61 of 67, by the way. Carl Edwards is about to be clear of the lap traffic with teammate Denny Hamlin. Hamlin looks to go around his Jokers Racing teammate. Hamlin is now clear of lap traffic. Ahead of him are lead lap cars, battling for the lead. The gap from there grew half a tenth. Allmendinger does not look like he has the best car, but boy, and we have a caution. 32's out of it, the 55, the 26 looks to be a violent crash with all the damage. This definitely is going to shake things up, because now Johnson does not have that gap that he had before in the restart. Now he's got the 11, the 47 lined up behind him, and behind the 20 is Carl Edwards, who's peeked his way back. We're going to have a replay, and then we're going to return with what should be the final restart. Back with the replay of the incident here that brought out what is either the 3rd or the 4th caution. So this is the result of 5 wide. 4 wide, I don't know. It was pretty wide down here. So the 55 gets a nice run here. The 95 gets a better run. He's going to try and shoot that gap, but it gets a little tight. He will get into the 55. The 26 is coming down, and they all just collide. And it gets worse. The 9 once again being involved in a wreck, and somehow he saves that car. Look at the save he made. The 95 barely squeaking by. He ends up with a little bit of right side damage. But here's the heavy hit. If you watch the 32 down here, that sends the 55 up into the catch fence. You can go back and look at it in full time now. It all happens a lot quicker than it looked. Can't really analyze this from that time. They were 5 wide. They were fine here, and now it's an awful wreck. All those cars are likely done. 26 with heavy damage, the 55 torn to shreds. We will have another restart back for you in just a moment. Here we are, live, 1 to go to the green. This is going to present a green-white checkered. When we go green, it will be lap 66. That gives them 2 laps to make it to the end. The next flag is going to end the race. Not many cars ran on the lead lap. Tony Stewart has fallen out of the mix, by the way. The 9 car is going to nurse at home with some damage. A few strong runs for some drivers, but here's where the drama is. Johnson, Allmendinger, and Hamlin are all in the lead lap. Kenseth is not. Now, Carl Edwards was awfully racy early on. He had a couple of bad turn of events, which set him back. What's going to be interesting is to see how he works his way around the teammate. But what's for sure, AJ's car isn't quite as good as the 48 and the 11 from what we saw in that last run, but it'll be fun. What the 48's hoping is the 11 battles with the 47, and hopefully will hold them back and let him get a chance to get it out, because the 11 has shown to be the quickest car on the track all day. He has been stellar. We're about to see if that transfers for the last 2 laps, as Jimmy Johnson will lead us green for the final time today. He gets a good jump on the start. Not anything crazy, as Hamlin's going to go under the 47. Edwards is going to go under the 20. Not what the 48 wanted to see, because now those guys don't have anyone to contend with besides him. AJ goes really high in 3 and 4. That's not going to work very well for him. Here comes Edwards, and here comes his teammate Hamlin in second. White flag is out for Jimmy Johnson. The gap that time, 2 tenths. Hamlin looks to close a little bit. I don't think Edwards will have enough time. It's up to Denny Hamlin. He's got 1 corner to gain and possibly make a big move on the 48. Gets through the center better. I don't think it'll be enough. Coming out of turn 4 for the final time. Very close. It's going to be Jimmy Johnson winning at Las Vegas. And that is it. Close race for the win. Hamlin almost made it to the bumper of the 48. Now, it was almost. The margin of victory was only 1/10. Hamlin, respectively, ends up second. Carl Edwards with a 3rd place finish. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was very quietly inside of the top 10 the whole way. He'll come home 4th. AJ Allmendinger was able to hang on and come from 5th. Kevin Harvick spent most of the day in the back, but he surfaced out to the top 10, finished 7th. Logano had a pretty slow day. Gordon and Keselowski, those best friends, 11th and 12th. Stewart ended up 13th, which was unfortunate because he had a really good car. The 9, after being involved in 2 wrecks, managed to crawl home 16th. Only 28 cars remained on the lead lap. With quite a few more retired from the race from late race incidents. Well, that is it for this race at Las Vegas. I have nothing else for you. I want to thank you guys for watching. This one might not have been the most exciting, but as usual, I had fun commentating, and I hope you guys had as much fun watching it as I did commentating, because I really enjoyed this race. On that note, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next video. And yes, Truex Jr. loses 28 positions. That was definitely hurting. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next video.